And boom, we are live. It is just gone 3 p.m. on Thursday, the 4th of July. A big day in the UK for the elections. But we're not here to talk about that kind of drama. We're going to talk about some more drama today. For those people who don't know us, my name is Ross. I run a website called Act On This, a TV Actors Network, with producer Petch here. You can find it at www.actonthis.tv if you're an actor and you want to hang out with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in TV every single week. Literally learn from the very best people in this industry how to actually earn money out of your career, something that not a lot of actors do because they don't really understand the business of the business. Come over, get a membership. I swear to God, it will change your career. So that's actonthis.tv. But Petch, today we're here to talk about a different topic, not the elections, although I'm sure we'll probably come on to that, but we're not getting political. We are not getting political today. We're here to talk about the overall state of the acting industry right now. There's quite a lot of fear in the air. There's been a lot of articles published recently about, oh my God, we've got to survive till 2025. There's been a bit of scandal this week because Spotlight have put the price of their subscription up. And what we like to do at Act On This really is just quell the fear, get people focused on where the work is as opposed to where it isn't. You know, get you solutions focused on how you can use your time well rather than worrying and getting on the bandwagon of X, formerly Twitter, to just complain about stuff. Actually sort of, work towards what it is you want in this industry. And we are seeing on a daily basis, Petch, actors in our community, members of actonthis.tv, landing work on TV, landing, new representation, signing with new agents. These are the people who are getting down to actually what it is that they do want as opposed to what they don't want, and they're going out and they're getting what they want by working towards it, not just sort of sitting there worrying about everything. So we're going to cover all of that and a lot more today, Petch. And how are you, basically, mate? I know you've been working with me today, but we work remotely. So what's going down in your world? All right?
I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. I think everything that's going on with the industry is having an effect on me, just because I'm in social media and on social media quite a lot. So I'm reading it and I'm digesting it.
You're absorbing the negativity.
I am, yeah. So doing Bulletproof Actor, which is a course that Ross has come up with, along with high performance mindset coach Matt Hall. One of the tasks is to go like 30 days without any news articles or anything like that, because there is a negativity bias there. And doing this, I can't really escape that. So all the negativity is like feeding into my soul. So I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully I can shake it all out.
Well, we're gonna spin it. We're gonna make a paradigm shift in our thinking, folks. And yeah, hopefully by the end of this, you're just gonna be reassured that there isn't all that to worry about. Things are already picking up a lot in the acting industry. By the end of this year, things are only going to get better. 2025, things are going to get even better. Like, really, we're out of the woods when it comes to the real shit part of this. Excuse my French. Obviously, with all the strikes and stuff, the writer strikes and things last year. Things are only looking up. I know the title of this video might be a bit clickbaity, like, will the acting industry survive in 2024? The quick answer to that is yeah, absolutely. We're going to go through that today. And before we do that, Petch, who's with us? Put some comments up. Who's tuning in on what?
So we've got Gary Thomas here on YouTube. He's saying 400 extras working on the last episode of Vera filming today.
All getting paid, not worrying about any jobs that aren't there. They're on a job today. Absolutely. Nice one, Gary. Cheers for sharing that.
And just some people that I can see watching on Instagram. We've got Emily Cath.
All right, Emily.
I am David Stokes, Graham Lewis, Laura
I can see
Hugh
loads.
Actor, and Amy Blake's just popped up going, hey up.
Hey up, Amy. I can see loads. Sarah's here. I can see Jack's here. Fiona's here. Rick's here. Nikki's here. I'm seeing loads at mine as well. Liz, Lydia, how you doing? Matt Hall official in the house. How you doing, mate? 6 other people have just joined. Laura's here. Natasha, stay on this. Let's G you up. Let's get you ready to finish the week strong and start next week even stronger. So what I want to do, is I want to share some articles today. I'm going to share some stuff that's going on in our community. I'm going to share some videos as well. Should we start uplifting people maybe by playing Mickey's video out?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So for those people who don't know, basically, as I said before, we sit down every single week with literally the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in TV. And for our members on actonthis.tv, we host private Zoom calls, really get into grips with the business side of this business. We introduce you to people who can give you work basically on a weekly basis. And this week we had one of the most positive souls. If you want some positivity, Petch, You know, Mickey can provide it. We had Mr. Mickey Jones, TV director, known for really like specialising in soaps, so Coronation Street, Emmerdale, EastEnders, Hollyoaks in particular, those 4 programmes. He let me just turn my phone off. Stop ringing me. It's happening. You know when your phone rings on every device because it's connected to your laptop, it's going off everywhere. Mickey's incredible. So Mickey is currently directing EastEnders, but he's really open to new talent. He's open to discovering new faces. He will give very often people their first TV job, and we did a session with him this week, really just diving into getting focused on where the work is. Where right now it's never quiet in serial drama, those shows that I just mentioned, and we ran a session for all Acts On This members, really diving into how you can get on Mickey's list, so to speak. So he will bring you into audition for these shows. We went over the casting teams for each of those shows and really just getting your shop window ready to send stuff out to these people to get auditions and to get work. So I'll take us off the screen for a second, Petch. I'll just play a 2-minute trailer out of what you missed, folks. The full 2-hour chat with Mickey is in the members area on Acts On This right now. And if you were there, I know we'll have members watching live right now. If you were there, please leave us a comment on YouTube. Leave us a comment on X by clicking into the video and clicking into the live chat bit. We can't bring comments up on Instagram, but we can read them out. LinkedIn, I think we can bring comments up on LinkedIn. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, leave a comment on what you thought of Mickey. But yeah, if you want some positivity, this is where to start. And Dominic says, I really enjoyed Mickey, that I love his tip on adding extra words in your speech. So this is in auditions, yeah. We're talking about making your audition more natural by just throwing in, not changing the script massively, just throwing in a little extra word. So like, say it was like, yeah, if you want to come this way. Mickey was like, yeah, if you want to come this way, love. Just make it a little bit more human. Dominic says, I do this all the time. I feel it just helps fleshing out the character's nuance that little bit more. I agree, Dom. I agree. Right, let me take us off camera and I'll put a little bit of Mickey on for those people who don't know who he is. And yeah, I'd highly recommend you go and watch this if you want a bit of positivity in your life. Let me get rid of this graphic as well so we can watch it properly. Right, see you in a sec. Take me off. Coronation Street, EastEnders, Emmerdale and Hollyoaks director. It's Mickey Jones back on Act On This. Mickey, it is so good to have you back. After 4 years, how are you? Before we dive into landing roles on all of these shows, let's look at some of Mickey's recent work on EastEnders during the London Marathon.
You see, when Honey runs off, she knows exactly where the camera is, and she gives Jay a little bit of a look. And then when they come round, they sort of look, favour the camera when they're waving to the crowds as they finish. Fantastic. I was so impressed by them.
Now, I'm going to start off by looking at the casting teams.
Joanne Moss also does a lot of Corrie, and Jo Moss is fantastic if you're in a show or anything. She will come out and watch them.
How do you work with the casting teams then to bring in new faces?
I just got an email off Rowley before. They were basically saying, like similar to what you were saying, what we were saying. Then he went, hi Mickey, hope all's well. I've sent you a breakdown. Could be a nice gig for someone. Do let me know if you have any suggestions for the role.
Nice. So we're going to look at, nailing that self-tape for serial drama in particular.
If you've got to leave the scene, maybe just give a little glance to your watch or, anything like that just makes the frame live.
How do I, with no TV credits, stand out against sort of the people who've been doing it for a long time?
You said you were a bit older.
Only a bit.
Only a bit. But that's a fantastic thing, Sarah, because you've got life experience.
Would you employ northern actors in EastEnders, and would you employ southern actors in Hollyoaks and Corrie?
I love it if someone's Scottish in Corrie or whatever. Yeah, I'm not against it. I think it's brilliant.
How people can approach you or other directors in as they're unrepresented.
People want to discover someone new and someone fabulous and fresh and excited, and there's nothing better than enthusiasm. You're you, and that's what'll get you the jobs.
Boom. I just freaking love his voice, Petch. It just exudes positivity and he said about enthusiasm at the end there. Mickey's super enthusiastic. Honestly, if you are looking to land roles this year on EastEnders, on Coronation Street, on Emmerdale, Mickey is booked up till mid-2025 directing these shows. So we might as well start here, Petch. When it comes to all this fear mongering around, there's no work available. So Mickey shared with us, as I say, that he's booked up until mid-2025, literally for the next year, all day, every day, pre-shooting, shooting, and post-producing serial drama. Okay, so when everybody's like, there is no work available, it might mean that there might be less work available when it comes to the huge Netflix shows because of the writer's strike, and a lot of those are written, and they were written by American people. They might not be going into production as often. That is picking up. But one area of our industry that is never, ever, 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 ever quiet is serial drama. It is these shows like Emmerdale, Coronation Street, EastEnders, Casualty, Hollyoaks. You know, they are casting literally thousands of roles every single year. And we run a program once a year that we will be opening up actually really soon. It's like the first Saturday of next month, isn't it? We do a program once a year called First TV Role Fast Track to help people get their first TV role in record time, and it focuses specifically on these shows. Now, we run a Facebook group alongside that. We only let 100 people into this a year, by the way. If you want to get on the waiting list, actonthis.tv/first, FIRST. We will only let 100 people in again, but we literally will hold your hand every single day for a year to get you your first TV job. I'm going to share our Facebook group, Petch, because literally those people who are getting their head down and focusing on where the work is are the people who are getting work regularly all the time. And it is about getting clear right now, folks. If you're worried about where the work is, not where it isn't, and not jumping on the bandwagon of all of these articles that are being published around, this is a really terrible time, because it's not. It really isn't. If you are looking at your career as a business, as you would do in any other industry. If you were, I don't know, a plumber, you wouldn't just accept that, it's quiet, there's nothing I can do about it, so I won't bother. You might be like, well, actually, bathrooms are quiet, but kitchens are flying out, so I'm gonna focus on kitchens. I just wanted to share this. I hope they don't mind. It's our group. I'm not breaking any GDPR rules here. But Helen, shout out to one of our members, Helen Krevel, said, I got one. I'm going to be playing a doctor in Casualty in a few weeks. Wasn't quite real until I went for my costume fitting yesterday, but it's happening. Thanks so much to all of you. Seeing everyone here sharing their wins and supporting each other has really made a difference in motivating me and making me believe I can do it. Literally shout out to you, Helen, if you ever watch this. Hopefully, Helen, you'll subscribe to the YouTube channel because we're going live a lot, so make sure you're all subscribed, people. But literally just one person. There's hundreds of people within that group. People are posting all the time that they are winning, that they are landing auditions, they are getting roles. I could show you in our private community. I shouldn't have took it off the screen, actually. I can show you in our private community on actonthis.tv. If you become a member, you get access to not the Facebook group. You get an extra private community that's on our actual site. That's off Facebook.
Private. It's going all over YouTube.
It is private, but it's going over YouTube just for a minute. This is our group. This is a buzzing group, though. Again, it's another reason to get an Act On This membership. It's dirt cheap, folks. It'll cost you the price of a large latte a week. You get to hang out with the biggest names in the game, and you get support 24/7 from hundreds of actors within our group. This is shout out to Poppy this morning. Poppy Burns just wanted to drop a quick message to say thank you to everyone for responding to my last post here a few weeks ago about seeking rep. I'm happy to say she just signed with a brand new agent. Looking forward to seeing what opportunities this will open up for me. Keep going, everyone. These are the kind of actors you want to be around, and this is the kind of shout out to you, Poppy. This is the kind of stuff that you want to be focusing on. I'm like super solutions focused, right? If you're going to read articles and jump on the bandwagon on X that everything's shit and that there's no work out there, that's going to seep into you. As you were saying before, Petch, you can't help it. You're absorbing it all day, every day, and you're going to start believing it. You're going to start taking on other people's limiting beliefs. That's just two messages, and I put those up now because that Casualty for Helen was yesterday. Poppy's just signed with an agent today. Like, it's not shit. There is so much out there if you get clear on what it is that you want from this industry, okay, and where the work is. So serial drama's massive right now. I've had a cracking year so far in voiceover. We've covered this a lot recently. I had my voiceover agents on to do a session on actonthis.tv. Tens of thousands of pounds worth of voiceover work this year. That's an incredibly buoyant part of the industry. Even if you want to go grassroots level, and we mentioned like medical role play a lot, Petch, every single week there are people in our community getting paid 150 to 180 pounds a day, depending on where they are in the country, doing medical role play with trainee doctors, going, I've got a sore knee, and then the doctor trying to diagnose why they've got a sore knee. Like, it's probably a bit more complex than that. But 180 quid a day and your expenses and food provided. Who's not going to want to do that? Ultimately, there is like so much work out there. So that's kind of like the first point that I want to make. Have we got any comments coming through? I want to know how people feel in general, Like, have you taken on all of this, negativity within the industry? Have you been not then going after what it is you want because you felt there's no point in doing it? Because that's something I see, Petch. People get caught up in sort of like the negativity, and then they convince themselves that it's actually, there's no point in doing it. So I will just sit on the sofa and I'll watch Netflix, as opposed to get my spotlight out to casting directors who could cast me in a Netflix show and I can watch myself on that platform. So do let us know now, like, how you've just felt recently, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated you felt, whether you have taken your foot off the gas because you've believed like all the negativity. Remember, negativity sells, folks. We are served on average 17 negative pieces of news to every one positive piece of news, because there was a study done in the 1970s that proved in Time magazine that negativity sells far more than positivity. News outlets, magazines, journalists can profit so much more by spinning things negatively than putting a positive spin on it. And I'll put an article up in a minute
now to see if that still stands or if it's more.
Yeah, because that's a really, it's an interesting one. Yeah, it was 17. Well, it was after that study in 1972. Basically, what they did, folks, there's a magazine called Time. You might be aware of it. It's one of the most popular magazines in the world, and they took something like 300 front covers of Time. I think it might come out every week, so maybe it was a year's worth of front covers, or a few years worth of front covers that they took out, and they looked at the ones that sold the most, and all of the ones that had controversial or negative titles and pictures and images that were upsetting sold far more than the happy ones with the nice headlines. That's why I titled this video something like, will the acting industry survive 2024? Because I wanted you to come and watch, but then I wanted to allay your fears and go, yeah, it will, don't worry about it. And in 2025, it's going to get back to probably bigger than it's ever been. But yeah, it's ultimately, we thrive off negativity. We have it built into our brains. We need to seek out what can hurt us so we can avoid it. And it's just not a good way to live if you're not in control of your emotions and you're not making your emotions serve you. You will just end up serving your emotions. As an actor, that's not good either, because you should be in control of your emotions more than anybody else, because it is your job. They are your tools. But a lot of actors aren't, and they allow their emotions to overcome them, depress them, so they don't want to get out of bed, or they want to sit on the sofa because everybody else is saying how hard it is. It is a difficult industry, but you don't have to do that much more than anybody else to rise to the top, because so many people are just so defeatist and they're not putting the work in like they would do in any other, industry out there. Remember that thing Chris Hitchens said, Petch, that I loved, about how many hours your agent can put into your career.
Yeah.
Because this is sobering as well, folks, and I hope you're not in this situation. And if you are, I hope you wake up a little bit now and you go, shit, actually, you're right. Great actor, Chris Hitchens. He starred in Ken Loach's Sorry We Missed You. He starred in Trigger Point. Four Lives, was it? What was that show called? Was it 3, 4? Can't remember. He starred in The Long Shadow. Really, really great actor, Chris. Really top bloke, Chris Hitchens. And he said when he realised,
like Gareth Southgate there picking the next England team. Was it 4-4-3?
Politics and football. We're going to stay away from it today. But Chris said, he said, listen, when I realised this, he said, my agent, great agent, was looking after 80 clients, and most agents look after 80, sometimes more. Like you might be with a boutique agency where there's only one agent or two agents, and they might have 120, 150 actors on the books. So he said, on average, most agents looking after 80 clients each. He said across a working week, that's across a 40-hour week, basically, they can put 30 minutes of dedicated time into each person's career. Break that down across 5 days. Your agent, realistically, if they're going to try and look after everybody in a week, can only put 6 minutes of effort into your career this week. So if you're sat there depressed, going, the industry's so terrible, and yet to do anything about it, you're just letting your agent do 6 minutes a week on your career, no wonder you are not working. This is just the brutal reality of it. If you're not focusing on where the work is and you're not going after it yourself, you're leaving it for 6 minutes work for your agent. Like, again, I don't want to sound harsh, but it's almost like you don't deserve to work, because in what other industry would you put 6 minutes a day into your business and expect to be successful? You'd put 16 hours a day into your business. That's what I have to put into Act On This. And Petch, you put in 40 hours a week. I literally will be here probably till 11 o'clock tonight, because I want to make this community successful. I've been doing this for 14 years. I can't expect to grow a community, have great guests on every single week if I'm putting 6 minutes a day into it, folks. It just doesn't work like that. So just some sobering facts. Don't leave your career in your agent's hands if that's what you've been doing. If you're not getting targeted and reaching out via email, 2 casting teams, casting directors, casting assistants, casting associates. No wonder it's going to feel quiet for you, because it will be. It'd be quiet for anybody who's not doing that work.
So just a couple of comments that have come through on Instagram before I get through to the ones that you asked for over on YouTube. Fiona has said, I asked to connect with Mickey on X, but no response at the moment. So how do we send him our self-tapes? It's all a bit confusing.
So
Mickey is very, very busy directing EastEnders. We were lucky to get him
right
on
now.
When he did. So he will go through his X when he gets a moment, and he will respond to everyone. He'll start following you back, and that's where you can build up the relationship. I know people are anxious to get on his radar right now, but give him a bit of time. Let him get this block out of the way. Then he'll get back on social media, and everything will be fine. Indra, we give Mickey's X handle at the end of that call. Ross spelt it wrong on the slides. Don't worry about that. We did correct it. But go back and watch the end of the replay. And that's for anybody here who hasn't caught up with it yet. Go back to actonthis.tv and just log in, and the replay will be in your members area. Just
1 second, what I say on that, Petch. Yeah, what the worst thing you could do now, folks, by the way, is without watching that session, just go and try and bomb Mickey with your stuff, right? People now might go, oh, I didn't see that session with Mickey. Oh, what's his handle? I'll just send him my stuff. The whole point of doing these sessions every single week with the specific guests is for you to really, really get to know them. That's why they're 2 hours long. These are not just random, people do like a 20-minute Q&A with an industry person on Instagram. I just think it's a waste of time, really. You don't get to actually the meat and bones of actually how they operate, how they work, what they like, how you can reach out to them, their personality. We go really deep into everybody's casting process. So if it's a casting director, we go into the office's process, not just theirs, but the casting assistants, the casting associates in that office, what each of them like, what they don't like, how they like to be communicated with, show reels, self-tapes, headshots, everything. Watch that full it's nearly 2.5 hours, I think, with Mickey in it. It was a long session, or maybe just two hours. Go and watch it, and then, because there's no rush, because Mickey's in pre-production for his next block of EastEnders, there's no massive rush to get your stuff over and get an instant response from him. Like, he won't be casting the next block for a few weeks yet. Okay, so you've got time to just really sort of like sit and think about how you want to write that message to him on X. You want to go and request to follow him. Then he will accept, that follow potentially in a few days. He's really, really good at getting back to people. But get into the members area and watch the whole of that session back before you approach him. Because I think, again, people are looking for quick wins and they're looking to cut corners. They hear that we've had somebody on, they're in the membership. Rather than go and watch it, they'll just go, oh, I'm going to send them an email now. You're doing yourself a disservice. You don't have to watch the video. You can listen to the podcast version that's underneath each feature. I mean, I can show for anyone who isn't aware of how we do this on actonthis.tv in the. If I just go back into the library here. Shout out to Poppy again there for the new agent. If you go into the membership and the members area here, you'll see at the top, it says our latest 5 features. We've had some cracking guests on recently. Mickey Jones this week, Downton Abbey's Rob James Collier, 2 times BAFTA winning casting director, Aisha Bywaters, my voiceover agents who literally changed my life, the voiceover gallery, biggest names in the game on here. These are the latest 5 features. If you click into one, you'll see the full video replay at the top, but underneath, you always get access to the podcast. So if you're out walking the dog, if you're on a train, if you're at work, I don't know, you don't have a public-facing role where you can put some earphones in and listen to this while you're getting on with your work. It's so worth the 90 minutes or 2 hours a week that it will take you across 5 days. Break it down 15 minutes a day or something. Listen to this stuff. Fill your ears with solutions-focused content that's going to motivate you, inspire you, not tell you everything's shit and the industry's falling apart, because it really isn't. Every guest we've had on recently has been excited about how much better it's getting. So listen to these features and then approach Mickey the right way. I'd really, really recommend that that people do that. And Mickey's so open to giving people their first job. Petch, he gave you your first job on Coronation Street. What's he like?
He's lovely. He's such a genuine, warm, caring person, and he doesn't bullshit anybody. If he tells you that he's going to keep you in mind for something. I met Mickey at a workshop years ago, and he said, I'm going to keep you in mind for something, and I just thought it was formalities. I just thought, yeah, this is what everybody says. And no, he was true to his word. He literally pulled me in for a job. So yeah, I can't thank him enough.
Yeah, no, honestly. So it's really worth, like, again, if you were going to approach anybody for a job, if you look at each person you're approaching, almost like a job interview, you wouldn't go and have an interview with Microsoft having not listened to Bill Gates' most recent chat about what he's doing with the company. I would expect you to do that anyway. Like, I'd expect you to listen to that before you approach, because you're going to make your approach so much better. So listen to that session or watch that session back with Mickey. He's just a bloody joy to listen to. You can't help but like smile and laugh and like giggle along when he's talking, because he is just so sort of charismatic, but he's really open to sort of new faces and stuff like that. So yeah, go and check that out. What else is coming through on YouTube, Petch?
Coming through on the questions that you asked earlier about how people finding it and things like that.
Yeah. Gary
Thomas has said he was on another Zoom. Basically, it can only pick up again.
Yeah, it's going to get... Well, it's getting better. Every day is getting better.
Synthesbian has put maybe there'll be more positive news tomorrow.
Every day, honestly. But there's positive news today. As I say, members of our community are posting literally today they've signed with new agents. Yesterday, they've got a new job in casualty. And that role in casualty is a proper role. We're not talking like, I've got a bit of background work. That's a genuinely, audition for and cast role as a doctor in probably one of the most famous, shows in the country that has doctors in it. Like, that'll be a cracking role for Helen, and she'll probably get paid, $1.5 grand or something like that. Well, maybe more, depending on what her role is in it.
Yeah. Lowry.
Yeah.
We always get this one wrong. Just did medical role play yesterday with my daughter. I'm doing a rebrand at the moment and updating all my stuff.
Yes, Lowry, because that's because you're focused and you're solutions focused. And yeah, let us know how medical role play went for you. It's a really good industry to work in, folks. If you are an actor, so you get to use your skills and you get well paid for it, as opposed to what I did for 11 years working in retail before I could earn enough just from acting. Way more satisfying than a job in a bar or something.
And Synthesbian's back saying motivation is still a good 8. I'm doing a restyle at the moment as well. Struggling with very low responses, but still trying, because if you don't
ask, you don't get. That was something that Mickey said. Be cheeky. Be cheeky. Do it in the right way. Mickey would not have got his first directing break had he not tried to convince somebody to to let him direct one episode. Was it Family Affairs? I think it was his first thing that he.
Yeah.
It's a TV show way back, and he was begging them, and they kept saying no, and he was going, "Come on." One episode, and they finally gave him one episode, and now he's never stopped directing. Like, as I say, literally booked up until mid-2025. He does EastEnders, a block of Emmerdale. I think back to EastEnders, maybe Corrie, then Emmerdale. The guy is a beast. He's on it all the time. It just proves there's a shitload of work out there. Oh, and the other thing I'm hearing as well, we've got Peter Hunt coming on soon, head of Hollyoaks casting. A lot of people are like, "Oh no, Hollyoaks is being reduced. The episodes are being reduced." Let me just tell you a little off the record conversation that I've had with people there.
Guys, here's a scoop.
Here's the scoop. We've got Peter Hunt coming on in August, so it'll be just maybe 4 weeks or something like that. He's very optimistic that there's going to be, because there's been quite a cull of, and this has been well documented, there's been quite a cull of regular cast within Hollyoaks. It's going to open the doors up for so many more guest roles, because what they're going to find is that they can go a lot deeper on the storylines because there's less main cast. So rather than having to deal with storylines for 70 cast, if they've got to deal with storylines for 40 cast, they can make those storylines a lot deeper, a lot more complex, and they can bring in a lot more guest characters. So although there's less regulars, for those people looking for the first few TV roles, it's going to be way better for you. So again, if you listen to the headlines, you'll be like, "Oh no, things are getting cut again." It's actually better for you that they've been cut, unless you want a regular role, and it's unlikely you're going to get a regular role the first role that you have, although it does happen. There's going to be a lot more opportunity for you to audition for that show and get guest roles weekly. There's still, Peter casts 10 day player roles a week, over 500 guest roles a year on that show, and it's only going up.
Before we move on, Amy Blake has dropped a quick question in. Have we had anyone from Emma Stafford's office on at all?
Yep.
I can't find any within the search function, but I could be using it wrong.
No, we have. We've had Emma herself on, but I'm just going to check, Amy, if I have kept that on the site, because if I haven't, I still have it locally. So if you drop me an email, I'll send you I'll send you it privately. So, because what we try and do, but I mean, I've recorded, it's not on the site anymore. I've recorded 950 features for Act On This over the last 14 years. We keep in the members area to keep it relevant. We keep the last 12 to 18 months worth of recordings in there. There's a couple of classics that are so good, I'll never take them down. Yeah, Babu Cisse was a late 2021 feature. It's probably 3 years old now, but it's so freaking good for motivation and mindset. That's why I've kept it in there. It's all about the mindset with Babu. It was one of the most popular sessions we've ever done, so that's still in there. But you'll find most of the sessions in there are from the last year, 18 months, so there's about 150 at any one time. Amy, if you email ross@actonthis.tv, I'll send you a private Dropbox link to Emma's. It was a podcast that we did with Emma. I don't think we filmed it. It was just an audio-only podcast with Emma herself. Just please don't share it outside the membership. But that goes for any member here. If you're a member of actonthis.tv and you've got an audition with Emma Stafford soon, I'm going to have Emma back on. We'll definitely get her back on for a Zoom call. She was great. And again, just really positive, really positive. Her whole message again was like, you are enough. If she could go back and speak to her younger self who worried so much about where she was going to be, how the industry was going to go, she was like, I wish I could have just gone back and said, look, you're all right. You're going to be all right. Like, you don't have to worry. Don't put yourself through this. So many of us do that. But yeah, if you message me, I'll send you a private link to that. Please just don't share it with anybody else. But if any member here wants it, again, drop me an email and I will. I'll send you that.
Nick Dutton has put, I wrote to all at Lyme today, thanks to Petch.
Yes, Nick. Boo. Yeah, Nick did first TV role fast track, got 2 TV roles. Petch just got him his footage from the Bay. Yeah, good on you, Nick. Great work, mate. It was really good seeing that as well.
It was really good, yeah. And Diane Ellis has put, I did a cheeky email to Roland Beckley today for EastEnders casting based on Mickey's advice.
That's because you're a hustler, Di, and we love it. Yeah, this is what I mean. Mickey during that chat said he just had a message that day, a text from Roland Beckley at the BBC saying, Mickey, here's a breakdown for one of these roles in EastEnders. Could be a great guest role. Do you have any suggestions? Go where the work is, folks. Stop focusing on where it isn't. Good on you, Di. I hope you get some, fingers crossed.
And
I've never done EastEnders.
Amy says, legend. Thank you.
No problem, Amy. The only soap I've not done. I've done them all. I've done Casualty, Doctors, Corrie, Emmerdale, Hollyoaks. I just haven't done bloody EastEnders. All right, bruv.
Doctors isn't around anymore.
Yeah, I know, so no one else can do it, but I did it twice. Yeah, I want to do EastEnders. Right, Mickey's going to have to get me a job on EastEnders. I forgot about that. It's the only one I haven't done. I've got to collect the whole set. I'm a completionist. I need all of them. That's why I like Pokemon cards. Right, so what I mean, God, we've got loads to cover and time is flying. Should we talk about I mean, I can show that article, but I don't know if I want to show that. All I'll show you, just very quickly, I'm going to show you this article that put a lot of people into a tailspin. And I just want to show you how journalists can spin a positive into a negative every time to get more views on their work. Just like I wanted to come here with a positive message. I wanted more views on this, so I called it Will the Acting Industry Survive 2024, right? It's a bit clickbaity. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully, you'll forgive me. But this was the article that got everybody in it with a bit of a spin. Survive until 2025. Subtitled, British TV and film workers battle a jobs crisis. Now, I don't mind survive until 2025 because 2025 is looking fantastic. The rest of this year is looking great, and 2025 will be here before you know it. But what they did, basically, they interviewed, apparently anyway, they interviewed people in the industry. Now, first of all, Petch brought this to my attention. All of the names here are fake, Petch. So we don't know if they're real or not, right? It's very easy to make up fake names and just say they said something when you're not even going to put somebody, make someone accountable for saying those things.
2 definitely are under pseudonyms. Because they're the ones with the asterisks.
It's like Sophie asterisk, not your name, is it? J asterisk, not your name, is it? So basically, they go through and they all start painting like a bleak picture. Oh, there's no jobs for this and no jobs for that. Da, 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 da. But then what you'll find at the end of every single little bit of this article, they end on a positive. So they go, actually, yeah, things are looking up and everything's going to be okay. And if we scroll right to the bottom, even Equity, who are notorious for being, bless you, Equity, I know I give you a lot of stick, but I just think you need to sex up your marketing and make it a bit more interesting because I just find it boring. And they're really negative. Everything's freaking negative. Even John at Equity says Equity's John Barkley believes things will look up by 2025 with film productions resuming after last year's writer strikes and TV channels reassessing how to move forward with programming in a new landscape of big streamers. It's all got a positive spin on it. All of it, Beck 2, I've got a positive spin. survive until 2025, says Phil Ralph. My contention is what is happening in 2025 is going to be better than what's happening now. Oh yeah, names have been changed, so we don't know if it's real anyway. But basically, the overall message is things are getting better all the time, and by 2025, things are going to be great. So what I'd have done, as someone who likes positivity, is I would have gone survive until 2025. My subtitle would have been British TV and film industry on the up and up, because that's way more empowering. Why battle a jobs crisis? Oh, because it's going to get more clicks and you're going to sell more advertising on your website. So even though the message within the article was actually positive and saying things are better and going to get even better, the way that it was packaged together just scared people. And I just think that's wrong. Like, it's irresponsible to drill. This is what I hate about the media, the mainstream media and journalism in general, is because they thrive off this shit. I think it's a miserable existence. As a journalist, it would be my job to drill fear into you, Petch. That's my actual job. For my company, if I was working for Sky News or whatever, and I hate Sky News because they always do this, my job would be to get them as many eyeballs on the screen as possible so as they can sell their adverts for as much money as possible. The way that I do that is by filling you with fear to make you glued to that screen. To go, if you don't watch this, your whole life's going to fall apart. Like, journalists do better. Your whole industry needs just destroying and just making better. Because your whole modus operandi is to make people shit scared for their lives. Literally, oh, there's going to be terrorist attacks everywhere. Oh, the banking crisis. Oh, the housing crisis. Oh, the political crisis. Oh, it's just like fear, 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 war everywhere, war everywhere. Oh my God, nuclear war. That's it, World War III. Stop it. Just shut up. Like, you're not doing anybody a favour. So, yeah, put your fingers in your ears, folks. Focus, get your head down. Focus on what it is that you want. And there's loads of opportunity out there. Another little rant, Petch. Sorry about that.
It's fine. We're all here for it. Grant's Rants. Honestly, we should just start up a new YouTube channel called Grant's Rants. I'll just let you go. I just see, and all it is because we work with hundreds of actors a day. Literally, there's 10,000 on our Facebook group, 1,000 in the premium membership on Act On This. I see people winning every day, and I know why they're winning, because their attitude is so great. Alyssa Rogers, we've got Alyssa Rogers coming on actonthis.tv in 2 weeks' time. Emmy-winning casting director. The very first time we interviewed Alyssa in maybe 2020, Petch. I don't know if you remember that session, but literal sunshine shone out of Alyssa's face. Now, she hadn't been as successful as she is now then. She was working as a casting associate with Theo Park, had done casting associate work on Ted Lasso, so had been involved in good shows, but it wasn't her show. It wasn't the casting director of the show, was just very humble, super enthusiastic about working with great people. And at the end of that session, her whole sort of thing was, look, believe. You have to believe in yourself. Stay in the game. Be positive. Be grateful. And I knew there and then, this is a woman who's going to go on to crush it in this industry because her aura is so bright. I'm attracted to wanting to hang around this energy, and I thought everyone in the industry is going to be as well. Fast forward 3 years, she's now just won a daytime Emmy for African Queens, and that's just going to springboard her career massively. The people who are focusing on what is out there and they're grateful for it and they're positive are the people who win in life. Full stop. So, Di Alice, I've seen loads of roles for my age casting type in the last 2 weeks. Now I'm effectively an agent. Yeah, Di. No, Di now works in as part of a co-op agency. I've been surprised at all the 40 plus and 50 plus jobs because I'd been believing the It's Quiet story. Yes, Di. I freaking love the way you've shared that. Yeah, honestly, please, people need to start. I told you this, don't I, Petch? I wish people would start with a little disclaimer after they say the words "It's quiet" with just putting "for me" on the end of it. Because don't blanket the whole industry. Oh, it's quiet right now. No, it's quiet for you. Do you know why it's quiet for you? Because you're doing nothing. That's why it's quiet for you, because you're believing all of the shit that's out there and you're sitting on your backside expecting someone to come and save you. And they won't. I had this conversation with somebody on our Facebook group earlier. It's going back to Chris Hitchin that you mentioned earlier. When he came on, he said that the industry works in seasons. So yes, it might be quiet for his casting type at this particular season, but next season he could be well in vogue. So yeah, again, completely echoing what you said there. It might be quiet for you, doesn't mean it's quiet. And it might be quieter now because of the writer strikes and the actor strikes, but it's still not quiet. Again, going back to what we said right at the beginning, serial dramas are constantly casted. Yep, 2,500 roles a year. I heard a great quote. There's a guy called Chris Williams or Williamson, does a great podcast.
that I listened to, and he said a great quote about ambition and entitlement. And I thought, God, I see this in our industry. He said, ambition is where a person believes in themselves enough that they'll go out and close the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Entitlement is where someone doesn't believe in themselves to the point where they go out and expect others to close the gap for them. So be ambitious, close the gap for yourself, put the work in, because as I said before, you don't have to put much more work in than other actors, because so few are doing anything because they're believing that it's quiet myth.
And stop arguing for your limitations as well. That gets me.
Yeah, going, oh, well, that would work for you, but I know it wouldn't work for me because I'm from this background, or I'm this age, or I'm this gender, or I'm this. No, if you're good. I said this before, and let me know, right? This might be a controversial opinion right now, but I feel that there's so many labels in society that we're actually actively wanting to give ourselves, and whether that's to do with ethnicity, gender, disability, economic background, age, all these things. Because we've got what we're doing there, I don't think it's helpful. We're basically separating ourselves so much from one another because we're saying, I'm not like you, I'm this kind of actor, I'm this kind of actor, I'm this kind of actor. And we're fighting for these labels that put us into a box, as opposed to going, hang on a minute, we're all talented individuals and we're all talented human beings. Can we not work together a bit more? I feel that we're fragmenting not just our industry, but society so much by saying, I'm part of this special little minority here, I'm part of this special little minority here. Not in a positive, empowering way, more as in a kind of conflicting way, as in, like you said, Petch, that won't work for me because I'm this, or that won't work for me because I'm that, or I should have this treatment because I'm that. If you're really good and you're talented, it doesn't really matter about any of that. People want to work with you. Just focus on being great, being a great person, having positivity, a good outlook in the world, helping other people, adding value. You will work. It won't be quiet for you when you're doing that. And if it is quiet and you're doing that now, just do it a bit longer. Just keep doing it. I promise you, something will pop at some point. But
patience and hard work equals success.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people have one, not the other. They'll be patient and they'll do no work, so they get nowhere. Or they'll do hard work for a week and they won't be patient, so they won't do it longer than that, and they'll get nowhere. Do something every single day for 12 months. You will find it impossible not to make progress on your career. Get that momentum going. Do something. Want to talk a little bit about Spotlight, Petch, but anything coming through?
No, not on that really. Nick Dutton has said tickets for the Ghost train sells much more than the Speak Your Weight machine.
That's a go on it. I've never heard that before. Yeah, absolutely. That's accountability, though, isn't it? That definitely. It's like, come on, yeah. People just enjoy buying into the fear and saying, actually, I'm where I'm at because it's everyone else's fault. It's not my fault. Like, come on, we got to take our power back.
Natalie Harper on Instagram has come up with this, has repeated this quote: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Working hard. Yep, I agree with that. Absolutely. Definitely.
And James Daniel Matthews has said, sorry I'm late to the party as I've just got my Rode NT USB already done the Gravy for the Brain beginner module. Voiceover, here I come. Yes,
James, see, there's someone acting on the information. We had a great session with my voiceover agents a couple of weeks ago. We went through literally everything, how you get started in voiceover, create a voice reel, get set up with the home studio very cheaply, approach voiceover agents, voice reels. I played my voice reel out. We talked all about the vast amounts of money that are available if you're good at voiceover, the abundance of work that's out there. And we gave a kit list away. If you go to actonthis.tv/voiceover, you can download it for free. It's my actual kit list, what I use in my studio at home. James has got the Rode NT USB. It's a microphone that I recommend for voiceover. It's this one here. I use it to record all my VO stuff from home. Get a lot of really nice comments from engineers around the country that I dial into when I'm working with other studios. They always ask me what mic I'm using. That's the one. It's not expensive, about 140 quid or something like that. James has got it, mate. Get working. Get to work.
James has got a good voice as well. He drops me voice notes all the time over on Instagram about asking for advice for Act On This. Like, I'm happy to get back in touch with people like that. But also giving me workout advice as well. So yeah, keep using it, James.
See, that's that value exchange. That's called the law of reciprocity. So when you approach people and you give value, they feel, obliged in a good way to give you value back. This is how the industry works. If you go out there, if James is messaging you going, Petch, I'm so depressed, this is terrible, the industry's shit, save me, you go, oh God, I don't really want those voice notes. But if he's giving you advice on workouts and you're giving him advice on the industry, great reciprocity there. You want to work with these people.
Exactly. Nice. And Gracie Kelly has put, love these live videos. YouTube brighten my day. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. Appreciate that. That's yeah, it's what it's there for. I just got sick of the downbeat atmosphere this week. I'm like, hang on, we've got to address this again for the go getters, the action takers in this industry. It isn't quiet. There's an abundance of stuff out there. There's lots of opportunity. Like, get excited for working for it. That should be part of the excitement as well. Like, you can't be entitled and expect other people to close the gap on where you are and where you want to be. Part of the fulfillment in this industry is the daily hustle, the grind. And when you get that reply back from an email that you sent, it can literally just make your day. You're like, fuck, I'm seen. People are seeing my work. Opportunity is coming my way. You have to go out there and put that work in yourself to get that. So next up, I did a live with you, Petch. Was it last week when we were talking about, we were breaking our Spotlight as a business? I was saying that. I was sticking up for Spotlight, if I'm honest with you guys, because I was saying, this was last week, by the way, because I was saying, a lot of people were giving them a lot of hate because in general, Equity are going after all casting platforms and saying actors shouldn't pay for them, producers should pay for them, casting directors should pay for them. And I basically broke down the model of how that is absolute nonsense and how it would never work, basically. And I was like, actually, for 186 quid a year for Spotlight, when you break it down across a week, you'd need 1 day of medical role play. You've got your money back straight away. And our whole focus at Acts On This is to help you profit from your Spotlight profile as fast as possible. However, that was last week. A couple of things have happened, and I'm very, very fair. I told you I'll stick up for things if I think things are wrong. I will hold people accountable if I think otherwise. And something has happened this week that I'm honest, if I'm completely honest with you, I'm going to share it. You'll all know. I'm like, Spotlight, you couldn't have got the timing worse for this. Like, this is almost tone deafness around what your membership and your entire community and the wider industry is saying. So Spotlight are, I think as well, I'm just, hold my hands up, rightfully so, getting some shit this week because they've basically put their membership fees up by 9%. I think it's more than 9%, isn't it? The monthly membership's going from £15 to £18. Let me just check. This is on...
I thought it was £16.50 to 18.
So monthly fees here. Look, monthly fees for UK performers will rise from the next billing period to £15 or £18, including VAT. Okay, so it's just 9%. Now, yeah, my thoughts on this are, I mean, one, again, let's not overstate it for what it isn't. Okay, it's a 9% increase. It's not massive. It's not going to, make a huge impact if you use your profile properly to land, as I say, even 1 day of medical role play. However, I just think from a customer service and a PR perspective, it's very, very bad timing. So we broke down, estimated profits from Spotlight last week, and I stuck up for Spotlight saying, listen, they're probably giving, 3 million quid plus a year in tax, to our country. That it's got to be applauded. They employ a lot of people who pay tax. So, you might be getting 6 million quid a year out of Spotlight in terms of their contributions to the society. But it still left them with a very, very, very healthy profit. And as I run a business in the acting industry, yes, prices, without a doubt, guys, have gone up. I am paying 25-30% more for some pieces of software this year that run actonthis.tv than I was paying last year. And I've had conversations, and we've chatted this out, Petch and stuff, but because of the current climate and because of the negativity bias in the air, I've chosen to absorb those costs because right now I'm like, it's not the right time. Act On This membership, by the way, just to be transparent with you, will go up in price, but not for existing members. One thing I always do, this is what something Spotlight don't do, but what I always do is anybody who gets a membership, if you've got a membership to actonthis.tv today, it's 27 quid a month. It's dirt cheap. Most people charge you 60 quid for a 2-hour workshop. You're going to get 14 hours of live coaching a month from the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in TV. You're going to get bi-weekly coaching with me and Petch. You're going to get a meetup once a month for all of our members. You're going to get access to our app and 150 past sessions in the members area. There is nothing more valuable out there in this industry. It's 27 quid. It will go up to 30 quid later this year. It's roughly a 10-11% increase because I've still, as I say, I'm still absorbing probably a 20% increase on top of that I'm not passing on to you guys. But anyone who's in now, you'll never pay any more than you pay now. That's my reward to you for your loyalty. If you get in now at 27 quid, when it goes up to 30 quid for new members, you will be protected. You will not pay any more than that. Those people who got in for 17 quid a month 5 years ago, you don't pay more than 17 quid a month as long as you keep your membership going.
Is still active.
Yeah, you can't cancel it because I can't get access to those payment profiles anymore. If you keep it going, you'll never pay more than you pay when you sign up. I think that's the right thing to do. So it will go up. Membership will go up. Get in now at 27 quid a month if you want to lock that in. When it goes up to 30, as I say, you will be immune to that price increase. But I would have thought, because Spotlight had not put out any statement at all on this equity attack on their platform. Basically, equity are campaigning to try and eradicate, Spotlight's ability to charge for their platform to the workforce, as they call it, us actors. They want to, get casting directors and producers to pay. It'll never work. That will never work. That will never happen. But Spotlight hadn't even released a statement to address that. Now, they'd not even released a statement, and then the only statement they did release was, hey, we're putting our prices up. And I'm like, come on, who is in charge of this company?
And not only that, they put the statement out after they put the prices up. They didn't even email people.
It was like, we're gonna quietly put this up. I'm just like, from a PR perspective, like I say, I will stick up for Spotlight all day long if I feel that they're being shat on for no reason. But I do feel criticism this time is justified, because as a business owner myself and as an actor who's on Spotlight, I'm like, come on, there needs to be, that's almost literally like we are not listening to you. And not only are we not listening, we don't care. We're just going to put the price up anyway. Even though their profits were incredibly healthy. A 9% increase, you don't need that right now. You can wait that out for 6 months. We're halfway through 2024. People are in the mindset of accepting price increases in a January. 6 months, people wouldn't have minded in January. 2025, New Year, stuff's gone up. Yeah, cool, fine. The country will hopefully have settled down. We've got a new government in. Things will be feeling a bit more optimistic. I just think it's bad timing. So, yeah, I mean, let us know your thoughts. As I say, it's not going to break the bank, guys. Don't, get too caught up on it. 9%, it's still, so achievable to earn that entire fee back from one job in the acting industry. But yeah, criticism where criticism is due. I just think that was really poor timing and a bad decision. Let us know your thoughts.
Bob Tapper on Instagram has asked a question. I'll read that in just 1 second, Bob.
Go on, Bob.
Something that I saw going across X and things. Like I said, I'm in there all the time and I'm just absorbing it all. A lot of people are complaining that because they're paying monthly, they're annoyed that they're paying more.
Yep.
And that is, like, again, not really sticking up for Spotlight, but just like industry in a whole. That's what always happens. If you pay lump sum up front, it's the same with Act On This. If you pay for your annual membership, it is cheaper.
You save 45 quid a year because we know we've locked you in for 1 year. From a business perspective, that's stable income. So you deserve to be rewarded for that. Yeah, you can't complain about spreading the cost and being charged more, because that is industry standard for every single industry. That's something that people can't kick off about. Yeah. If you get the luxury of spreading this cost to make it affordable for you, the company who's taking the risk, i.e. Spotlight or us as Act On This, if we're giving you the ability to access the content without paying, for a full year up front, that is just fair, because you're still having to put in all of the work without the guarantee these people are going to stick around.
I get it. Like the first time I had to buy car insurance when I passed my test, it was like you can pay all of it up front at much cheaper than what you're paying over a month. And I was like, that's not fair. And Laura's just said the same thing, same as my car insurance. But I was like 18 at the time, 17, 18. I was like, that's not fair, but I now understand it. So Bob has asked over on Instagram, I've read some people blaming this now on being owned by a US company. Any thoughts on that? And please be nice, since I'm American.
All right, Bob. Yeah, no, I've got nothing against Americans whatsoever. Love America, love American people. Got lots of friends who are American. So Spotlight was bought by Talent Inc., which is an American company. They own Casting Networks and lots of other platforms. Casting Networks came over to the UK in about it's a long time ago, maybe 2015, 16. Something like that. Maybe even before that. I was working in casting at the time, and they tried to take on Spotlight. They did a really good job of it as well. They almost got to a tipping point of around 20,000 members. Spotlight today has 90,000 members, but they almost got to a point where they were really challenging Spotlight. And one reason they really hammered Spotlight for a little bit was because they gave casting directors a piece of software. I think it's called Fast Capture, Bob. And what it enabled casting directors to do for the first time was record and upload their auditions that they were filming in the room in real time. So what we used to have to do in casting is you'd film somebody's audition, you'd film the next person's audition, the next person's audition. At the end of the day, you'd have 20 people's auditions on a memory card. You'd go and import that from your memory card to your computer. You'd drag off the ones that you wanted. You'd get, edit them maybe. You'd upload them to the internet. It would take forever to get that casting over to the director. Fast Capture allowed you to record on your laptop these auditions, and while you were filming the next audition, the previous one was uploading to this really nice interface. So I think Spotlight crapped themselves a little bit and went, hang on a minute, this could really challenge us because this is making casting directors' lives easier. That's the only way you're going to get people off Spotlight and onto something else, if it makes their life easier. And Casting Networks did such a good job. They still couldn't hit that critical point, to the point where they went, well, we're just going to buy you, Spotlight. If we can't compete with you, we'll just buy you. So yeah, they did buy them. I think it was a couple of years ago now. Obviously, that opens up, corporate America. I'm a capitalist, though. I believe in fair business. As long as your business is fair, I'm happy for people who put the effort in to build businesses, who employ people, who pay tax, who pay corporation tax, VAT. We wouldn't have a functioning society if there weren't companies paying huge amounts of VAT, corporation tax, and employing people who then pay tax, who then pay more tax when they buy things with the money they've been taxed on, like tax. There's nothing wrong with capitalism in my eyes. However, yeah, I think when you then are accountable to a board of directors, or I'm not sure if Talent Inc. floats on a stock market, I'm not sure, and then you're accountable to shareholders, then the water gets murky, and then it's all about profit, isn't it? And then I think the soul can come out of a business and die, and that's something that, I would never... I'm happy for somebody at some point to acquire Act On This if they were going to offer me a great deal, and I could work within the company. I'd never sell out just for money, though, and then go, well, the whole soul of why I set this business up is gone, and I don't care anymore. And I think that's what can happen. Spotlight was a family business for so many years. I think it started in the 40s as like a little pamphlet, obviously bought by big business now, and obviously the people at the top sometimes can be really out of touch with their actual client base. And I just think that this decision this time to raise the price before even putting out an official statement on, Equity's stance on the platform, I just think is like, again, just a tone deafness. I'm like, I was so disappointed because I'm a big advocate of people using Spotlight to get work, and I still will be. But I'm just like, guys, come on, you make my job so much harder to come on here and justify this and stick up for you when you're doing this. You're not listening to your audience. So whether it's because of an American corporation or not, Bob, I think any corporation, if they're not in touch, I used to get it in retail, and you'll have had it, Petch, when you worked in bars and stuff. You'll get the guys at the top issuing instructions to us shop workers on the shop floor, and we're all like, do they have any clue what's going on here? This isn't going to work, because they're not working on the shop floor. They've got these ideas, but they've got no clue how it's actually going to work and implement. And the company that I work for went into liquidation, actually, to £90 million worth of debt.
One of the most ridiculous things I got told when I was working at the bar is to stop with the head. Like, give more head, like make it more frothy. And then, but if the customer complains, then you top it up. But because the froth isn't the alcohol, like they were skimming stuff off the top. Literally,
it's just like, do the right freaking thing. I've been running this business for 14 years, and we've built it to the point, now where it's without a doubt, Act On This is the most popular, online community for actors in the UK by far. And my one piece of advice for anyone who wants to build anything good is one word, and I've said it before, Petch, it's care. If you genuinely care about your members, the whole focus for me running this business is for our members, you guys who pay that £6.75 a week. My whole focus is to make you as successful as possible, genuinely, because your success, as cliched as it sounds, is then our success. If I can go online and shout about you guys all booking TV work, all getting auditions, like Helen booked Casualty, I showed that before. Poppy signed with a new agent today. If you're seeing people in our community crush it, and I've made their success our priority, what are you going to do? You're going to go, God, I want a bit of that. It's good for my business to actually give a shit about the people who you're serving. If you live a life of service, you will do very well in life. It just makes common sense to me. But for a lot of companies, no, it's like, how much can we extract from our members? How about how much can you give to them? Because the more people booking jobs on Spotlight, the more people saying, thanks to Spotlight, I got this job. Woo! I've not had work in ages. Like, come on, we've got to put the clientele first, not the numbers, because the numbers will come if you do that anyway.
Diane said here, Spotlight are advertising on social media saying, come and join us. And they have more members than ever, thanks to lowering the requirements for joining. Someone at the top is clearly after profits.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. It does feel a little bit like that. And that isn't to throw shade on anybody working in the UK. Maybe that does come from the big corporate fat cats. There are some lovely people who work at Spotlight where it is just their job. There's 50 people who work at Spotlight. It's not them. We can't be angry at them. Mel Brown's a lovely, lovely person. She's such a champion of actors, wants everybody to win. You've got to separate the company from the humans. You don't.
Natalie over on Instagram has said, I feel really sorry for the staff that run their social media account.
Yeah, because they're just doing a job. They just want to get paid. It's not them. So we do have to have compassion for the actual humans behind those accounts, because they are affected by this sort of stuff.
So
go on, Petch.
this is a topic that's coming up quite a lot now because of the price raises. Sakar on Instagram has said something similar. But Synthesbian has put, when Spotlight did their Premier membership, they did it again without any warning. And despite giving direct feedback I gave them in February, it seems they didn't learn about talking up front. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't force anybody into that premium membership. They didn't automatically rise the prices. You had the option of paying more for the other benefits or whatever, or staying exactly as you are. So I'll defend them a little bit on that, because that was up to you whether you wanted it or not. And we've spoken about this in the past. The other benefits weren't going to necessarily implicate you in your acting career. The casting directors or anybody else seeing your profile wouldn't know that you were on a premium membership or not. So there was no hierarchy there. It was just if you wanted the mental health app and things like that, which they have released. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, when they were going to do the premium membership, I looked at the benefits and I wouldn't have upgraded because I didn't think the benefits were worth it, if I'm honest with you. They let you, one thing that I thought might have been good, but actually it wasn't. It was a really, really basic version of it. Is they said, we're going to let you see some metrics of who's been, like how many times your profile has been viewed. And I thought, that'd be really interesting if you could show us who it's been viewed by. But it wasn't. It was a very basic page count of going, your profile's been viewed 30 times this month. I'm not bothered. I don't, I send my profile out to people every day. I know because of the tools that I use within what I do. And that's something we share in First TV or Fast Track that I won't share here because people have paid us for that. But yeah, in terms of the tools that I use when I'm sending Spotlight out, I know not just how many people have viewed it, but I know exactly who's viewed it and when, literally to the second they viewed it. So that wasn't even worthwhile. There wasn't anything that they were offering that I would have upgraded for. And as you say, it didn't actually affect your profile in terms of casting directors wouldn't see your profile first. If you paid, that would be a disaster if they ever put anything like that in. By the way, please don't do anything like that at Spotlight. That would really, really wreck your membership. But yeah, you didn't have to take that. So I would stick up for that to say it was just an option if you wanted it. However, what I would say now, based on the feedback they got from that, from doing that without any kind of prior announcement or any kind of teasing the market that they were maybe doing this, is they should have learned that their client base doesn't like surprises like that or doesn't like things just happening. Exactly. So at least give them warning of this, or it's just not. I just don't think it's justified right now, based on their current profit margin that was incredibly healthy. I understand if they're getting pressure, but I'd have waited 6 months.
What do you make of the arguments going around it's because of that failed Premier system that they've done this? I know Spotlight have released a statement saying it's all due to inflation and things like that, but do you think they're covering something up there, or?
Don't know. Honestly, don't know. I mean, it doesn't really, whatever the reason for the price rise is, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, that they've done it and that's it. Whether it is to cover administration costs of direct debits, or it is to just get a little back from the fact that they couldn't get away with releasing that Premier membership. I'm not entirely sure, but I just think I'm not against price rises either over time at strategic moments. I just think the new year would have been way, way better. I would rather, the reason I've not put the price up rights on this now, I'll tell you, is because that 10% price increase that it will come later this year, when it goes to 30 quid, only for new members, not for existing members. You will not pay any more, don't worry. Keep your membership active, you'll never pay more. But the reason I've not done it now is because rather than, get that extra £3 a month, I know a lot of people that might push them over the edge where they go, hang on a minute, right, I'm going to cancel the entire subscription. So rather than make the 3, I'd lose the 27. So I'm happier to keep the 27. It's still dirt cheap, £6.75 a week for what you get, folks. But for me as a business owner, I'm like, it's much better for me to really look after my customers, absorb that extra cost for now. I can't do it forever because I'm not a charity, but I'll absorb it for 6 more months and then I'll put it up, because I'd rather keep the people on board now than, keep a few people who are paying, get a few more people on board who are paying a bit extra, but lose loads of people, lose the 100% of what people are paying now. Like, it doesn't make sense. And Spotlight might lose people now. Based on that 9% price rise, they might lose somebody's entire 200 quid a year subscription. So it might not be a good business move like that. Let's see what happens. They might have shot themselves in the foot a bit, but I think when you're rising the price of anything, you've got to be strategic. You've got to be open and transparent with your customers and give them warning. What I'd have done, and let us know in the chat, because I will do this for everybody as well. The week before we put the price up later this year, Petch, to 30 quid, everybody on my mailing list is going to get an email going, guys, here's 7 full days you've got now to get in at this cheaper price. If you sign up now, you're going to get in, you're going to lock this in, you're never going to pay any more. They didn't, Spotlight, because they raised everybody's price, they didn't do that. That would have been a better option to go, look, guys, if you get in now, get your Spotlight membership now, you're going to be immune from this price increase. Then they've locked loads of people in who are going to want to stay. And then they can put it up with less risk, because it's only the new people who are paying more. And then they can test the water and say, are people willing to pay this? If I put the price up to 30 quid and nobody signs up, that's instant feedback that was the wrong decision. I don't think it is. I think it's very reasonable for what it is. But those people who got in at 27 feel they've got a great deal because they have. And they're more likely to stay because they've locked in that deal. So I'm all about rewarding people who are loyal and come first. I hate this thing that like Virgin Media do. 10% off for new customers. Fuck you. I've been a customer for 20 years. Where's my 10% off? I hate new deals for new customers. Let's look after the people who have got you where you've got to.
So there's a couple of comments coming, but first of all, Bob, again, over on Instagram has said, I'd use my Spotlight 30% discount at Vision Express twice now. So that makes a difference.
Yeah, that's good.
So Luke McGibney, I hope I'm saying your surname right.
McGibney,
Spotlight,
I'd go for.
There is no risk. It's a monopoly that gives very little back to the industry, even when it was.
Oh, Petch, I've lost you. Am I still live?
You're still live. Can you hear me?
Oh, I've got you now. Yeah. You just go back on that other comment because you just pause. I don't know if it's just for me or for everybody.
Right. For Spotlight, there is no risk. It's a monopoly that gives very little back to the industry, even when it was a family-run business. Something came up there. He's put great grandson and walked away with millions, and they never really cared. Activities are bare minimum, frankly, considering the turnover.
It's interesting. I mean, I was saying last week, Luke, there's, and I'm not saying this to be a dickhead. It's not that much money either. It might sound massive, but I was saying since 2010, I've had approximately 100 times return on my Spotlight membership yearly, and that's only 18 grand, right? It's 180. It was less than that back in the day because it's 150 when I first started out. So you only have to make 15 grand a year from acting and voiceover to get that back, and I've been, laser focused to do that every single year. This year, particularly, I mean, it's been a cracking year this year already, and we're only in June. I've almost done that already. And that's not to go, oh, look at me, I'm amazing. Like, that's not loads of money. People are earning freaking shed loads more than that. But I think if you really use it as a tool and you really hone your skills on the part of the industry that, suits you the best, you can use Spotlight to your advantage. Could I have got those jobs without it? Some of them I couldn't, because some of them came, via my agent and stuff, and I wasn't, reaching out myself. Is it a great platform to just have people, see your work and stuff? Casting directors use it every day. They're used to it. Yes, it's good. So I'm not against the regular fee for it or anything like that. You are right. I don't think like they go above and beyond and give you loads of incredible incentives, to, I don't know. I mean, they do it in a certain way. It's just standard, isn't it? It's just standard for us. The discounts that Bob said are useful. Get into the discount section. You can earn quite a bit of your fees back just from using the discounts. So I will give him the due in terms of, like, I have used the platform to make a lot more than I've paid for it back. But you're right, in a way, I feel like it needs some humanity put back into the business. It needs a face. It needs to feel more friendly. It needs to feel like it cares more. It needs to feel like it's listening more. Even the statement they put out and the branding around it, very corporate, pictures of a direct debit or something, it doesn't feel, every email I send out from Act On This, for anyone's on the email list, it's from me. It's from a person. And I try and write it as if I was writing an email to a friend, and I try and, tell you what's coming up, and, those people who aren't members yet, I try and convince them why it would be a good idea for them to join. And I try and inject soul and some humanity into each email. I do feel some of these companies, and equity as well, I feel it feels a little bit corporate, big business, and a little bit cold. So I just feel like they could do a better job of making actors feel understood, I think, Luke, to be honest with you.
The other thing Luke said, which I didn't really know about until I started working for you, so maybe you can put some clarity on this. But the big boys don't pay much tax. Amazon.
Oh, it just depends. I mean, it depends on where the companies are set up. There was scandal many years ago, Luke, around Amazon and Starbucks in particular. And in terms of it's interesting until you really get into business and understanding corporation tax and VAT and jurisdictions in different areas of the world. It's easy to tar every big business with the same brush and go, oh, you're all the same, you're all tax dodging, blah 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 blah. There's no way, for any corporation in this country to not contribute to the country. Even, you could go, well, Amazon aren't paying loads of tax. I mean, they do pay a fair share now. The government went after them. Same with Starbucks as well. Starbucks were putting a lot of their coffee, their actual raw ingredients, through different European countries and stuff to not pay VAT and things like that. I don't think there's VAT on coffee in the UK anyway, to be honest. It's really hard to be profitable as an independent cafe. I looked at that recently because I'm like, what, a coffee shop? There's no VAT. You can't charge VAT on your employees' wages, or you can't charge VAT on coffee and biscuits. So yet you have to pay it. If you hit 80 grand, you have to pay VAT, but you can't claim it back because there is no VAT on coffee. That's why coffee's so expensive in shops. We digress anyway, but one thing that you will always find, and what I said before, is any company that employs people to the degree that Amazon and Starbucks employ people, all employees pay tax. So in the very virtue of that company employing thousands of people, they are still contributing to society because they're doing it via proxy of those people paying tax. And they will pay corporation tax and they will pay VAT on some things. Obviously, as a business owner, it is in your interest to make your business as efficient as possible, as lean as possible. That's the whole point, of running a business. You don't want to pay a business and run a business and work 16 hours a day to give all of your money away. That's not very fair either. I think people should get small businesses, particularly, like really small businesses, like, oh, I feel I should get to keep more than I get. Like, it's sickening the hours you put in, and you get these bills every quarter to go, right, now give us 50% practically of what you're earning. It's a bit harsh on the really small guys. But yeah, some of the big boys were exploiting rules a few years ago. Luke, was it Luke? I can't remember who it was. I'm hoping,
Luke,
yeah, I'm hoping they don't get away with it as much anymore. I think there were some laws changed, but yeah, everyone should have a little look at business. You won't be quite as angry as it's it's easy to be really angry at some of the big companies when you look at actually some of what they are contributing as opposed to what they're not. Of course, they could contribute more, but we are still better off with them in the country than without them, to be honest.
Synthespian said, as a business, you can never time a price rise, but you just need to tell the people, and that's where the shit has hit the fan again.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that, definitely.
And it's the same with Sean. He says the decent thing to do is to let customers know ahead of time appropriately. Instead, they emailed on Friday and put it up on a Monday. So many people didn't even get the email. Yep,
no, I agree, Sean. It did just feel like if we do this quietly, no one will notice. Yeah. I'm like, you should have learned from the backlash you got last time. As I say, I spent a whole hour last week sticking up for Spotlight, doing an entire presentation on why it's so worth paying your subs. And I still think it is, of course it is. But I just think there was just poor timing. Just poor timing on that. But
Dyer said, I'm still in favour of a tiered payment system where unrepped actors who see fewer castings get to pay less.
I said I'd be in favour of that, Dyer, for a 3-month period when you sign up. I don't think you can do it indefinitely because you need an incentive for unrepped actors to put the work in to get rep. But I think if an unrepped actor signed up for Spotlight and they were given a push a 6-month loo period where they got a discount whilst they were unrepped, I think you need to have that cut-off date there, as I say, to force people into taking action to get off that tier to go, right, now I am repped, I want more auditions. But yeah, I think that could potentially be a nice idea and could attract more custom for Spotlight. Yeah.
So Harry Matthews on Instagram has said, this industry needs to be a little easier because I rate myself as an actor and I'm lucky to get a reply or acknowledgement half the time. I got the spotlight, I got the agent, and I got the credits. I speak for most actors like me who probably feel the same. Also, we need more in-person castings.
Oh, Harry, unfortunately, it ain't going to happen. So the in-person castings, yeah, I mean, we talk to casting directors every single week on actonthis.tv. Again, to cut costs, to stop having to pay $4,000 a month rent in London for offices. That's roughly, what most top-tier casting directors are paying for a decent location in London, £4,000 a month in rent. Self-tapes are always going to be first round. You will get in-person castings. for recalls, for bigger roles. But yeah, your first round and the smaller roles are always going to be cast off tape. There's a lot of advantages to that, though. It means they can see people with no geographical boundaries. You don't have to pay train fare to get anywhere. And you'll get a shot at some roles that you wouldn't get a shot of if they had to give you a 20-minute slot on the day, because they would go for safer options if you're unknown. So there's a lot of benefits for tapes. In terms of it being hard or not getting roles and things like that, I'd need to see what you were sending out that you're not getting replies for. Again, this program we do once a year called First TV Role Fast Track, we go so deep on email strategy, really writing, emails in a way that casting directors will look forward to opening them. I mean, I sent out, I'm just going to see, because I sent out 15 emails yesterday. Let me see if I've got an email report here, because it was good. If I've got this, hang on. If you know, here we go. And I've just had a reply now off Rachel Freck, great casting director, and Lucinda Syson as well. So, have I got a breakdown here? I don't know if I have. Let me just log in. I'm going to just see what I sent yesterday, and the open and reply rate and stuff, because I keep a track of all of this. I can't say exactly how to do this live.
Luke has said, by opening up the doors further, they will just dilute the prestige, and further access to better jobs will be even more limited.
I don't agree with that, Luke, because I just think if you're good, it doesn't matter how many people are on the platform. So this is something that I when everybody was kicking off about them lowering the price for one, not the price, lowering the criteria from 4 roles to 4 roles, or like 4 credits for one, everyone's going, oh my God, now everyone can get on. I was like, if I'm going to feel threatened, I've got 40 TV jobs under my belt. If I'm going to feel threatened by someone who's got 1 and they've got a Spotlight, something's massively wrong there. I don't care if there's 1 million people on Spotlight. If I'm going to ensure that I'm getting that profile out in a better way than the other 999,000, or I'm going to believe in myself enough that if I got an audition and I was up against someone who got 1 credit, I'm going to get it because I'm way more experienced than them. So I don't mind the number of people on there. Casting directors, would inevitably stop sending briefs out to everybody, and they just select the quality agents that they want to send them to. So as long as you're working hard to get rep by a decent agent, the number of people on there is not going to affect you. Don't get caught up in that. I wouldn't worry about that. But I do think, the drop in criteria was definitely a financial decision as opposed to anything else. But yeah, don't worry, Luke, about loads of people being on there, mate. You're good, and if you are, you're good and you keep working, you're going to get the roles over the people who have just got, one job to get on there. I'm just looking. So I sent Olivia Scott Webb an email, Gina J, Michelle Smith, Fiona Weir, Lauren Evans, Louise Cross, Maureen Duff, Gary Davey, Nina Gold, Lucy Bevan, Shaheen Baig, Kate Rose James, Carmel Cochran, Amy Hubbard, and Faye Styring an email. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Every single person has opened that email. I've had replies off 3 people already, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people have looked at the piece of content that I've sent them. So I might not get a reply, but I know that all that stuff has been effective that I've sent out there. So I can't tell you how I'm doing that. That's something that we teach on First TV Role Fast Track. If you go to actonthis.tv/first, FIRST, you can get on the waiting list for that. We will open that program up for 100 people later this year. You get to work with us every single day for an entire year to get you a TV job. If you want it, we don't come to your house. You've got to join the online community, and you've got to ask for help if you need it. But you could literally ask for help every single day. It's a weekend program that we run. We're going to run it in September, the 14th and 15th of September. It's 16 hours of coaching across a weekend plus an entire year of support. That program, actonthis.tv/first. You'll really learn how to write emails. You'll learn how to nail your casting type. You'll learn how to create a show reel that will really show you off. You'll learn, how to make everything congruent with your headshots. You'll really understand the business of the business after it. And lots of people have got TV roles, or at least lots of auditions off the back of doing that, and will inevitably go on to get TV roles. Helen, before we said, got that job on Casualty yesterday as part of our group. People are booking jobs, regularly.
So what do you make of the first part of Harry's comment there? Is this industry needs to be a little bit easier?
It's as easy as you make it. So again, it is if you know what you're doing. It's never going to be easy because nothing in life that's worth doing is easy. It really isn't, and it can't be, because you can't provide people with. equality of outcome, Harry. What I like about the industry and the way that it's going is I feel there's more opportunity in terms of the equality of opportunity. So, you know, as the barrier of entry to Spotlight, even that's a positive in a way for people who years ago would be going, it's so unfair, I'm a really good actor, I've trained, but I've not got 4 credits. Well, now you've got 1, get in there, right? The equality of opportunity is there. More people are getting seen who are not known. You know, that's fine. But the equality of outcome can never be a guarantee. That's not fair. Still, the best people have to get the jobs. You know, I've got an eye condition, Harry, so I'm really like severely visually impaired. So I'm a big advocate for disabled actors, you know, playing roles, you know, that are for the condition that they have. So if there was a visually impaired character, I'd want to be seen for that because I feel that's right. You know, that's fair. I can portray that authentically. But I don't want to get the job. I don't want the equality of outcome just because I've got the condition. If I'm not as good as the person without the condition who's brilliant and better at playing it than me, I don't want the job. Like, I don't want to be given a job just because I'm visually impaired. Like, I want the equality of opportunity, but I don't expect the equality of outcome. That's, you know, that's something that we just can't have. So the industry is easier if you really knuckle down, focus on your craft, understand the business of the business, join something like, you know, our community Acts On This.tv. We can help you with that literally every single week. But it is still tough. It is still tough. Only the toughest survive. It is difficult. There's no way to dress that up, unfortunately. But we do see people winning every day who hang in there. They're hardworking and they're patient, Petch.
Luke has put, if you look community, it has none. The value of your community is incredible. The value of your company, is incredible. The irony is, I predict they will look to buy you one day. You are the community and offer incredible value.
Look, I talked to Spotlight about it, Luke, but as I say, not if they're going to suck the soul out of this. I've spent 14 years, mate, building this up. It's built with heart. It's built with blood, sweat, tears. Not just mine, Petch's as well. Other people who work with us. Shout out to Lawrence Russell. There's a lot of our social media and stuff. People, yeah, like I'd have to stay in the business at least 2 years. Like, if anyone was going to buy this, I'd have to do some sort of deal where I'm like, look, I'm going to head this up still for 2 years and just teach you guys how you should run this. And it would have to have soul. And if they destroyed it, I'd put something in my contract that said after 2 years I could set something new up, and I just set up the community again, Luke, to just make it what it was supposed to be.
Act on this again.tv.
Act on this again, yeah. .tv. We just make a comeback, be like when Take That got back together. But yeah, I think it'd be a savvy business idea for Spotlight to acquire something like this, and then and have us. We're in the trenches. That's what I like about Act On This. Is like, you get these companies, it's so overused. I hate it. I hate the cliche. By actors, for actors. I hate that. It's as if it gives you carte blanche to go, oh, I'm super legit. I know companies that are supposed to be by actors, for actors who are just full of shit. Like, they might have been an actor. They're not anymore. They got no success themselves, and now they're selling a dream to somebody that they never achieved themselves. There's so much shit in this industry, folks. Honestly, like, I get so annoyed to the point where I want to shout at people and call people out, and I'll never do it because it's not the right thing to do. But please be careful. There's people who are not actors selling courses for £1,000, promising you stuff that they've not just achieved, but have never had a hope in hell of achieving because they've not even been in the industry as an actor. It annoys the shit out of me. So what I like about us, is we're in the trenches. Literally, I just told you that I reeled off 15 names of people I emailed yesterday from my own career. I'm doing it every day. I'm practicing what I preach, and that's the only way that I feel you should run a community. I don't want to learn off someone who's not doing it. And I'll share with people in our community what's working for me and what's not working for me, and things evolve and change all the time. And Petch, you're in it as well. We're taping with each other, every other week. We're in it. We're not booking anything right now for some reason, but can't freaking book a job to save my life. I was proper in vogue last year. 5 jobs on the bounce. I was invincible last year. This year, 7 tapes, no roles. I'm like, what is happening? Luckily, voiceover's pretty good for me. But yeah, we're in it. We're doing it, and we can relate to everybody. So yeah, like, Spotlight needs some soul, needs some heart, needs some understanding of what it's actually like to be on the shop floor as an actor.
Since Thespian has put Act On This too, the return of the community.
Yeah, bringing the community back. It's about that.
Maybe it's just quiet for you. For you.
It's not quiet for me in terms of opportunity. It's freaking quiet for jobs, though. I thought we did a good job of that last tape, Petch, as well. That tape for Aisha Bywaters. I threw a wild card in, though.
This is what Harry... Sorry, go on.
I say we did a second take.
Harry... Go on.
Talking over each other. I said we did a second take that's a bit wild. Maybe they didn't like it.
Harry's put something lovely over on Instagram, but it's nice to know that it's not just me. It's not.
Oh
It's
no,
not just-
definitely not. No, definitely not.
Di has put, I've seen a few people on Twix, what Di calls Twitter formerly X, or X formerly Twitter, already saying they've cancelled their spotlight because of the price change.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's emotional. When emotion is high, logic is low. The logical thing to do would go, right, let's actually look at this for what it is, not more than it is. It's not a great situation. It's timed very, very badly, but it's approximately, what is it, a couple of quid a month extra? You know, is a couple of quid, am I going to cut my nose off to spite my face, going to save the £24 a year and have access to, you know, to not have access to a tool that I could use with or without an agent to land one day's work to pay for the whole year? I think that's an emotional decision that they'll regret and they'll end up signing up again. I wish it hadn't have happened though. Like I'd say it's just not a
No,
good
I
time.
agree.
Will I be cancelling? No, absolutely not. You know,
I
think it's bad? Yeah.
I put something in place like a long time ago where I save throughout the year my spotlight fee so that I just pay it all in one go. So I'm not on the monthly direct debit. So I'm kind of putting it away myself monthly, but not paying them it monthly, so that it's all automatically going to be cheaper for me. So I don't know if that helps anybody now. It's just something just to think about maybe.
Yeah, it's being savvy with the money that you've got coming in. But yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, it would mean, well, what would it mean for me? Ultimately, it's one Starbucks less a month in it, and you know, more than cover the price increase. But Spotlight, I want my Starbucks.
Yeah.
So put the price down.
I'd say we've got about 4 minutes left.
Yep.
Let's wrap this up in like an hour and a half's time. So if anyone's got any questions that they'd like me or Ross to answer, let's be honest, it's probably going to be Ross. Just drop them in the comments and I will ask them on your behalf.
Well, we're going to make Petch answer them actually now he said that. What I'll do while the comments are coming in, I want to play one more session that a little trailer for one session we held with Rob James Collier recently. This was the week before last. Again, this is in the members area, folks. ActOnThis.tv. Get a membership. Let us help you change your career and your life. We'll be there with you literally every day, every step of the way. Rob James Collier, Downton Abbey. He plays Thomas Barrow in Downton Abbey. He's just filming the third Downton Abbey movie. He's in a brand new Ben Wheatley Channel 4 drama comedy drama called Generation Z or Z. That comes out later this year. Rob is like the epitome of hustle, patience, hard work, sacrifice to get where he's got to. He's not worried about a spotlight increase. Trust me, the money that he's getting paid nowadays. But I just want to play this because this is, again, another session that will really motivate you. If you are feeling you've lost your mojo a bit, this is in the members area right now. This is a 2.5 hour session with Rob. This will just get you going again. Let me just take us off screen, Petch, and I'll just play this for people. The full 2.5 hour chat is in the members area right now, and then we'll come back on to wrap it up and answer those last couple of questions. See you in a sec. Cut Petch off in his prime there. He is currently filming the third Downton Abbey movie as the once evil but now nice butler Thomas Barrow, and you'll soon see him starring in Ben Wheatley's new Channel 4 comedy horror Generation Z. It's Rob James Collier back on Act On This. Rob, it's amazing to have you back. How are you, mate? So tonight, actors, it's time to reset and get refocused on our careers, and I want to do that by asking some key questions. How much work are you putting in to your craft?
I had 3 acting classes on the go per week, and only by practice do you learn where your mistakes come, what you're good at, what you're not good at. You learn to take risks in practice, and it just builds up more and more confidence.
Act On This, we teach actors, Rob, how to take control of their careers, right? By emailing their shop window direct to casting directors with or without an agent. You'd mastered this 20 years ago.
I still kept sending these out myself, regardless of my agent going, don't worry, we send it out via Spotlight. And I still sent this to Jenny Radcliffe at the time. And when we got my agent called me and said, got a part for Coronation Street, I knew that it was because of what I'd sent out. I knew it wasn't just a coincidence.
Tell us how you stood out in the Generation Z audition.
I was getting onto the tube when it was overground. I took a 2-handed scene and I scribbled it out and I made it into a sort of a 2-handed scene, but like the other person was on the phone. I went, so did you see my self-tape? He went, yeah. And he started laughing. I went, right, what did you think? He went, this guy don't give a shit. That's what he said back to me. And he said, this guy's Michael, even though I was up for a different part. He went, that's Michael, right?
How do you keep focused?
Is there anything really more specific I can do?
or just stop being too hard on myself.
A casting director gave me a job 6 years after I met him. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy every moment on it, even the moment when you're waiting and you're waiting for 2 hours to get on. Just enjoy the fact that you're cold and the set and it's pissing it down, because this won't last forever and they won't all be as good as this.
ActOnThis.tv. Honestly, folks, get your membership. If you're not a member, come and join this community. Let's inspire the hell out of you, motivate you, and give you the practical tools to actually make money for the rest of 2024. What's come through, Petch? Any other questions?
So Sean has put this comment. Ross knows I booked a gig recently, but I don't expect anything to come from it in the future straight away. Acting is a long-term career. If it's quiet, you need to be busy pulling your own weight.
Yeah, a really good point. Sean's got a fantastic job. I won't say what it is, Sean. I don't know if you want people to know, but like,
I was jealous, Sean.
mate. Well, Sean, like when you're on set, mate, like, come on, you need to get. Yeah, the producer promised me that I could get in there when I did that read through. So let's see. Let's see what's happening. But yeah, I mean, the great thing about that job, Sean, is when you're doing it, because of the rehearsal process for that show, I know will be very intense for your episode. The connections you can make on set, both in front of and behind the camera, will just pay dividends for the rest of your career, mate. If you play it right and don't just hide yourself away, and then it's keep nurturing those relationships, keeping that alive, and then really dining out on the show that you're in, even before it's out, mate. Making sure you're reaching out to casting directors and telling them about that show, because there'll be a lot of eyes on that show. It's a big Netflix show, folks. I won't say any more, but there's some incredible people in it, directed by an incredible director, written by incredible people, and a huge name.
That director is very, very loyal. I've known him work with the same actors time and time again. So if you're making, you've already made a great impression with him. So
needs to work with us. I had him on Act On This 6 times. No, maybe three. Yeah.
Sean has put, "You're right. I'll do what I can, mate." Veron1Cal over on Instagram has asked, "What are your thoughts on vertical series? Do you think it could become an obstacle for future work?"
On what? Vertical series?
Vertical series.
What does that mean? Am I just completely out of the loop? What? Give us some more context. I'm going to Google vertical series. I mean, I don't know what that is. What's a vertical series?
I have no idea, but I'm just going to go back to a question while you're Googling that right at the beginning of...
Nothing's coming up.
The thing.
Maybe it's a spelling mistake. Typo.
Connor Charlton has put, "Curious to see what's going on with AI and the industry and your takes on it."
Connor, I'm going to be really controversial. I love it. I think it's going to be legislated. It needs to be legislated. But we had a really big discussion on ActOnThis.tv with my voiceover agents about voiceover and AI, and it will ultimately enable you to do the lower end jobs in the voiceover world on autopilot while you are sleeping. So effectively, normally, you're swapping hours for money when you're a voiceover artist. I might be I just did Oreo's adverts for the UK and I think Europe as well. But it's those adverts, it goes, "Oreo, trust the twist." That's me. And we had to record maybe 4 hours of those adverts, and I'm getting paid per hour. And then there's quite a bit of usage on top of that as well. So it's a lucrative gig. But that's taking me 4 hours of my day. In the AI world, I could be doing that job over those 4 hours, and then what would happen is basically you would have like a voice pack, effectively, that they would be able to feed a script into, and it spit out a pretty capable voiceover. Sounds exactly like me, but it wouldn't have some of the subtle intonation, some of the nuances and emotion that AI is not quite there yet. But for standard corporate gigs that require a pretty straight read, it would probably be there pretty soon anyway. And they may be 200 quid a gig, but if you're going to get 5 of them a week, there's another grand a week, another £48,000 a year on autopilot, mate. Because my AI voice is working whilst I'm doing the more nuanced jobs as well. So it could double your revenue as a voiceover artist, and there will be things within the acting industry as well that it can do for you as well, whether that's presenting gigs, whether that's AI avatars online. It needs legislating, of course it does, so people can't take advantage of it, but it will, that will come. It has to, because the first time an actor gets screwed over by this royally, every actor on that platform's leaving. If Mandy, there was a whole thing a few weeks ago, Mandy are going to steal us all and use us in AI. Bullshit. The first time that happens, what's going to happen? Every single actor on Mandy's going to cancel and their business is over. So it's not going to happen. It will be legislated, but I'm excited about it. I think there's a lot of positives will come with it.
So I've done a bit of digging on vertical series. It's very similar to a web series, but it's on your phone. So instead of watching things like that, it's
Are you sure that's what it means?
Yeah.
So, what about that?
Here's, what it says here, one of the most exciting developments in recent years is the rise of vertical TV series designed specifically for mobile viewing. These series are transforming how stories are told and consumed. For actors, this shift opens up a new world of possibilities to reach audiences in fresh and engaging ways. So the question was,
that's very northern. The question were,
what are your thoughts on vertical series, and do you think it could become an obstacle to future work?
Well, my thoughts are I literally only just thought about it. However, again, it's a new medium that I'm quite excited about. Gen Z, for example, basically probably spend 12 hours a day on their phones. There's a whole audience there that would, and these are I'm talking about like, the younger generations now who have basically been brought up with Instagram, with X, with all these social media platforms. That's where they live their life. Instagram is the equivalent of BBC One for them. X is ITV. Like they are the channels that they are consuming. And they're also the people who are used to spending digitally. They're the kids who are brought up on PlayStation where they download all the FIFA packs and they buy digital currency to spend in games and stuff like that. So I think it opens up a world of possibility for companies to build interactive web series that are profitable, that are, just taken in on mobile. We recently had a guest on who was talking about Netflix's sort of a lot of their research recently has been talking about dual screen and it Petch, like, how they Netflix know most people watch one of their shows with their phone either on their lap next to them or even in their hand, and people will scroll and be doing stuff while they're taking in a series. So Netflix are looking at series and going, how easy is this to take in whilst you have a second screen at your disposal? So they don't want to make stories so complex that they lose you if you look at your phone for a second and then you turn it off because I've missed that bit now, it's too complicated, I'm just going to go on Instagram. So to actually develop series on your phone, that's quite interesting. I think that could potentially be quite a lucrative world for work. I'm always embracing new technology and stuff and new platforms, though. I think people are too afraid of change and stuff like that. I'm not in love with any single platform. If Instagram closed down tomorrow and everybody's attention went to Petch, whatever social media you're going to create, I'd go to there. I'm just following the attention wherever that's at, as opposed to going, oh no, you have to stay on Instagram. I'm not bothered. I'm not loyal to any platform. I'm not loyal to anything within our industry. If there's a better alternative or there's more eyes on that platform, I'll go there. Wherever the attention goes is really where you should be focusing.
Synthesbian is asking, who's your prediction to win Wimbledon?
Know nothing about tennis, Synthespian whatsoever. Do you, Petch?
Alcaraz, I'm putting for the male. Alcaraz.
Yep, no idea.
This is interesting, though. We've talked about this quite a lot. Luke has gone, with your course that is coming up in September, can you help with approaching American agents and casting? I've got a great UK agent, but would like to raise my game in approaching casting and the USA.
Works in a very different way, Luke. It's not a market we do focus on. I can bring some people on to Act On This to do a one-off session. We could do for members on looking at America. America's a very different market, and it's something that you can't take lightly. If you're ever going to work in America, you really have to have a green card or you have to have an O1 visa. That process of getting an O1 visa is incredibly time-consuming, quite expensive. And is absolutely imperative for you to be able to work over there. The same joining SAG-AFTRA as well to be able to work on any kind of decent jobs. So there's a lot of hurdles that you've got to jump over. I know lots of people have done it. Some of my friends have had huge success in America and then come back over here bolstered with a career that has worked over here as well.
$3,000 to join SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah,
$3,000 to join SAG-AFTRA.
The O1 for friends of mine who have got one, it's cost anywhere between £5,000 and £10,000 for the process. So there's a lot goes into it, and then the market's very different over there, Luke. So you don't send emails generally to casting in America. That will predominantly, almost exclusively, go through agents and managers. You are more at the helm of your manager and your agent in order to open up opportunity for you. America, one advantage is I think they're well open to seeing complete unknowns for like every role. That's something that you don't always get over here. America seem to not care as long as you're really, really good. They're more open to that. But yeah, the industry is a little bit different. So the program that we focus on, that we First TV Role Fast Track, is to help actors get their first few TV jobs in the UK. Anyone who's got less than, I don't know, even 10 jobs. If you want basically a formula that for myself and for Petch and lots of people who've done this program, for me has worked over 30 times till I'm nearly 40 TV jobs. You want to have consistent direction. You want to really understand writing emails like properly in a really compelling way, targeted way. You want to really drill down, nail and focus on your casting type. Make sure all of your marketing materials are congruent with each other, your headshots, your show reel, that you're getting that in front of the right people. You want to take control of your career. Ultimately, this program is absolutely for you, and we will hold people's hand literally every single day on that program for 12 months to get you the result that you want. You've got to meet us there, though. We can't do the work for you. But if you go to actonthis.tv/first, FIRST, you can watch some testimonials from people who've been on that program over the last couple of years, and they show they talk about their experience. They show you the shows that they ended up landing roles in based on that program. They tell you what they like about the program. Again, one thing that I pride ourselves on, Petch, of the programs that we run, is they're fucking legit. You get a lot of people making up testimonials. They just put a picture of somebody on a site and go, I did this course and the next day I got an agent.
Do you want a testimonial right now?
Yeah, go on.
I've had 5 TV roles and did it this year. It's very useful. Warren,
holy shit, Warren. Why have we not got Warren on camera? Say this. I've had 5 TV roles and did it this year. Warren, you're an absolute legend, mate. We have to get a testimonial from you then if that's the case. But yeah, it's we put people on camera saying, I did it, here's my experience of it, and here are the roles that I have got because of it, as opposed to a lot of other companies who just put a static picture of someone, they write some quote they've made up and go, oh, what a great testimonial. Like, we're just legit.
If we did a testimonial for Warren, it'll just be a showreel.
Warren, I love that, man. That's so amazing. Honestly, yeah, I would love to buy you a Nando's and get you to come around and shoot a testimonial for us, selling us your experience on that. But yeah, honestly, people who get their head down and understand the industry and just focus on the work that is out there, they just win. Honestly, the whole point of this stream, as we wrap it up now, has been, please don't buy into the negativity, buy into the naysayers, the people who don't have a can-do attitude, the defeatists, the depressionists, the people out there who don't want to put the work in themselves to win, so they'd rather blame everybody else for it. They're the entitled people who are like what I said before. They want everyone else to close the gap between where they are and where they want to be for them, as opposed to having the ambition to go out there and close that gap themselves. Be that person with that ambition. Your life will be happier, healthier, wealthier in every single way.
One last question. I think Nick Dutton is drunk. I'm not too sure.
Who got 2 TV roles from First TV Role Fast Track.
He's put Instagram Row TT series. So I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, Nick. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Ross?
Nick's had a few drinks. Nick's probably out in Spain having some sangrias. Maybe he's
One
talking
star,
about
Nick. 1 star.
One star for your comment there, Nick. If we're giving it a review, TT series. TT. What could TT stand for? I'm not sure what he's talking about, Nick. Maybe he's referring to those vertical series
YouTube.
before.
Do you think he means
YouTube series? So Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, he meant YouTube. So yeah, mate. Honestly, like, you can set up a YouTube channel now, guys, and you can have a membership in your YouTube channel. There's nothing stopping people here creating a web series, and then getting a membership together of people who love that genre. Maybe it's a spy series or it's a sci-fi series or whatever. Doing your own thing, giving yourself work, creating a loyal army of fans, and then just charging them $1.99. A week to get access to the next episode or whatever, and creating an army of followers that way, crowdfunding for the film version of it. Like, the barrier to entry has never been lower for you to take control of your career. Like, so web series, Chris Stone did some great web series. We did one called Year of Spies, which I wish he'd have continued. I did an episode of that with him. We made that on 80 quid and it looks $1 million. It's a fantastic series.
So anybody who is very nostalgic like me, my favorite film growing up, well, one of my favorite film franchises growing up was The Karate Kid. A few years ago, they did a series directly on YouTube called Cobra Kai. First 2 series direct on YouTube. It's now massive. Netflix have bought it, and season 5, I believe, is coming out in just a few days, and I cannot wait. But yeah, like, they started out on YouTube.
and Di's got that there. Did a comedy job for Channel 4 last year with Young Philly. Who's Young Philly? That sounds like a rapper. They filmed a series for direct to YouTube. Yeah, YouTube Red. I don't know if that's still going. That was like their premium service on YouTube as well, wasn't it? Honestly, yeah, like digital content. Get excited, folks. Let's come away from here with the excitement of what's to come louder in your head than the negativity of what might not come, because there'll be loads more than you imagine. There's so much work out there for people who want to get it. We just got to keep going and just drown out that negative noise that's just out there. So hopefully this has left you inspired. If you watch on the replay, please leave us a comment. Subscribe on YouTube. It would mean the world. We're going to go live tomorrow maybe as well, Petch. We go live most week. We definitely go live multiple times a week as well on YouTube. This will go out as a audio only version on what's called the Act On This TV audio experience on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. So search for Act On This TV, all one word, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe there so you can catch up on this audio. And if you have £6.75 a week, leave a 5-star review,
like button,
smash all that. But yeah, if you have £6.75 a week and you want to come and hang out with the biggest names in the game, if you want to just sacrifice one coffee, I don't know, one Subway a week, whatever it is, and you want to hang out with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and TV, hang out in a legit community full of 950 at the moment, super inspired, motivated actors, network each week, get bi-weekly group coaching where you can ask, like one-to-one questions, be part of a community. You've got 24/7 access to the community hub where you can ask questions, and you get access to these live Zoom calls with the biggest names in the game. Come and join us. I would love to have you part of the community, make the second half of 2024 way better for you than the first. And we've got some great calls coming up. We've got our cocktails and conversation night happening next week. That's where you can jump on. We do a big quiz for the summer. You can win Amazon gift cards. Petch does his big prize pot thing. And then the week after that, we've got Emmy-winning casting director Alyssa Rogers back with us on the 16th of July, 7:30 p.m, talking about, well, her entire career, the rise and rise of Alyssa Rogers, really. Started off, as I said before, casting Ted Lasso with Theo Park. Has done some other great series as well. Brassic with Fiona Weir when that was first out, and then did African Queen.
It's been released for a 7th season, and it's been commissioned for a 7th.
Yeah, 6 or 7, isn't it? Yeah, Danny Broccolis is writing more. Danny's coming round to do a podcast with us at some point before September. Keeps putting it off. But yeah, we'll have the writer of Brassic, Danny Broccolis, and writer of some other massive dramas as well. Fool Me Once, The Stranger, Lazarus for Netflix, coming around for the podcast for members of Act On This. There's just loads of stuff going on, and there's 140 sessions in the members area literally right now for you to get stuck into. So come and join us. If we can help with anything, Act On This TV on all social media platforms, and we'll be back maybe tomorrow, Petch. We've got Rapid Fire Friday for our members tomorrow, but if we can fit in a live, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we'll be able to. But yeah, anyone who's a member of ActOnThis.tv, 4 p.m. tomorrow, jump into the live room. I'll quickly show you this because this has changed this year. If I go over to the site, I think this is where I was looking for Stafford before. So it's saying there's no results. If I click into the community, tomorrow, 4 p.m., in here in our live room on ActOnThis.tv. So this is our website. This is part of the membership. Click into the meetups tab. Tomorrow, Rapid Fire Friday is happening 4 p.m. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Come and join that in the live room directly on ActOnThis.tv. You just click live. When you go to here, click that blue button that says live. You'll come into the live room. You don't need to install any software. Any questions you've got in your acting career, me and Petch are here for them. So we'll answer as much as we can tomorrow, but that's happening 4 p.m. for all members. So
and Saturday?
Saturday's the meetup as well. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. We've got our virtual meetup in the live room again. It's all happening. The value you get on Act On This, freaking incredible. Honestly, come on, Spotlight. You could do this. You could do better. Be more Act On This.
Be more Act On This.
Yeah. Hashtag. Let's do hashtag. Be more Act On This. I love it. Right. Love to everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. Get out there, ask for what you want, and we'll catch up with everybody soon. Any last words, Petch? I don't mean like forever.
No, I'm good.
It's good. Right. There's only one thing to do then. Love to everybody. Petch, you know what time it is. In 3, 2, 1. Bye for now. We can't link it up on here that well, can we? There must be a delay. Bye for now, everybody. That's a catchphrase. See you later.